What's up everyone? My name is Annika, I'm 21 years old, and I'm going to tell you exactly how I am on track to save $100,000 by the time I turn 22 in 3 months. So fortunately, I did have a trust fund in my name, which I inherited when I was 18. Girl, you thought I was serious? Sorry, enough of the funny business. I'm done wasting your time. Let's get into it. Exactly how I saved $100,000 by the time I'm 22. Here we go. So first of all, when I was 18, I did open a TFSA account in Canada, at least. I think the equivalent in America is like, what is it? A high yield savings account or like a RESP? I don't really know. Okay, I'm sorry. I am Canadian. But when I was 18, I opened a TFSA and I maxed it out ever since then. So basically with a TFSA, there's a yearly contribution limit. So there's a certain amount that you can put in that account each year, and then you can't put in any more, because in a TFSA, it stands for tax-free savings account. It's basically a type of investment account in Canada where you can put money into it and then invest in stocks within that account, where any appreciation you earn on those stocks, you don't have to pay tax on that when you go to sell it. Basically, you can trade stocks in that TFSA without having to pay tax on it. So basically, you're earning a lot more on those stocks. Yeah, I opened a TFSA as soon as I was 18, and I have contributed to it ever since then, maxing it out every year. So I have the maximum amount of money in there that can work for me and appreciate and value, instead of just having a lot of money in a random savings account that doesn't really earn you much interest. Next, just to be completely honest and transparent, since I have been working since I was like 14, okay? My very first job was doing a paper route, like delivering newspapers, which like, okay, that makes me feel so old, even though like I hope I'm not. Then when I was 15, I started working in the food service industry, and I worked at a pizza store for like $13 an hour and a hot dog stand in my hometown for also $13 an hour. And in the summers of high school, I was always working multiple jobs. Like I was literally, I still am kind of a workaholic, but I have been working since a very young age. And like when you're 15, 16, 17, like I was still living at home, so I didn't really have any expenses. So I was able to save pretty much 100% of the money I was earning, even if it was only $13 an hour. And when I was 18 and opened my TFSA and other investment accounts and started putting money in stocks from those jobs, I started making more money in the stock market. And of course, I was still working at the same time. And as I got older, like 18, 19, 20, when I moved to the city, even though I did go to college, I was always working throughout college, and I always had side hustles, whether it was real estate. I have my real estate license, so I would be doing real estate on the side. I also, as you guys know, work in the hospitality industry. So I've been a server since I was 18, making tips. That's a good side hustle if you save your tips instead of spending it on alcohol, since after working a serving shift, you're gonna wanna literally get blackout drunk, but also, credit cards. So of course I also got a credit card when I turned 18 as well, but I also ever since then have paid off my credit card in full every single month. So I do not have any outstanding credit card debt or any fees or interest that I've had to pay from having credit cards. Just pay it in full every month to avoid that. Okay, this next one is going to be a controversial one. So I decided to go to college instead of university. I am very lucky and blessed to have parents who were willing to help me through post-secondary with like tuition fees for college, university, whatever I decided to attend. However, if I decided to go to university, I was going to have to pay for a significant portion of that myself. And university is expensive, okay? In Ontario, it's a lot, plus living expenses, because there wasn't really a lot of like schooling options in my hometown. Since I'm from small towns, I wanted to go to the city. So it was gonna cost me a lot of money, and I would have definitely had to take out student loans. I would have graduated university in debt. and with honestly probably hardly any savings. I did decide to go to college, and my yearly college tuition was less than $4,000, including everything, including textbooks, all other expenses. It was like $3,800 a year, okay? Which compared to university is like nothing, literally nothing. So looking back, because I went to college, I honestly set myself up to be in a pretty good financial situation right now, since I don't have any student loans, or I honestly really didn't spend much of my savings on tuition. Now instead, I just graduated this year and actually have savings because I went to college. Okay, now I'm just gonna talk about like monthly savings and like my personal saving plan. Ever since I started making money when I was young, 14, 15, I honestly have been a pretty good saver. I have a little bit of an interesting relationship with money. Some may call it toxic. I'm working on it. I definitely prioritize savings, and I tend to sort of not worry about my financial situation, but I am always wanting to be prepared for like a financial downfall or like whatever. So I've sort of always prepared myself for that by being really on top of my savings. That being said, I've lived alone since I was 17, so saving isn't the easiest thing for someone like me to do, especially in a city like Toronto and in the economic state of 2025. Hello. Here's how I save. First of all, living below your means. Of course, a lot of this is like self-explanatory, like how to save. I also have a video on this. It's like how to afford living in a big city in 2025, and I talk a lot about how I save money and live below my means. This is my bed, okay? And that's my kitchen. Like, I live in studio apartments. I've always lived in studio apartments. I don't have air conditioning. You can see I'm sweating right now. Okay, I live below my means so that I can save a good portion of my paycheck. I also treat savings like it's a bill. Like, I just have to pay it. So for example, I have automated savings, which means every month I have an automatic payment that takes money from my checking account and puts it directly into the stock market and my investment accounts. So I don't even have to think about it, because I'm just like in my head, like, okay, yeah, it's already a thing. I just have to pay that. It goes out of my account monthly, and then usually I will actually contribute additional funds on top of that as well. I've heard the term pay yourself first, meaning instead of prioritizing things like rent and car payments, which obviously those are very important, make sure you pay yourself first, okay? Set aside that $100 a month, okay? That forces you to get in the habit of saving, but to also just treat it like it has to be done. Treat it like a bill, like it has to be paid. You have to be like, oh, I have to save $5,000 a month. Consistency, okay? It's much better to put away $100 a month or even $50 a month to a specific savings or investment account than just randomly put in $1,000 on a Wednesday and then never look at it for like the next 2 years. I mean, that's not bad either, but you're gonna probably be able to earn compound interest if you have like a monthly contribution, which is a lot better, and it's gonna grow your money faster and ultimately more over time. The thing I wanted to mention with living below my means is I do not own any designer items, okay? The only thing I have is a pair of Versace sunglasses, which I bought when I was literally 16 because I was like making my own money and thought I was rich, and so I was like, oh my god, let me buy my Versace sunglasses, and I bought them on sale for like 150 bucks, okay? That is the only designer thing I own. If you see me with a designer bag, girl, it's not real, okay? Like, hello. I honestly cannot fathom spending thousands of dollars on like a bag. I would love to, but like in my head, my relationship with money, I could not get myself to do that. I'm just gonna save that money instead. But yeah, heavy on the automated savings and paying yourself first, and honestly living below your means in order to save. It is 2025, unfortunately. If you wanna get ahead, like, you're gonna have to compromise significantly, and I've had to come to terms with that myself. It's not easy when you're just a girl who like wants to live the city life, you know what I mean? But it's worth it in the long term. And that doesn't mean you also can't splurge occasionally. Like, hello guys, I definitely splurge. I go to New York City like 3 times a year, okay? Like, over there, I go crazy. Yeah, that is basically how I am able to save almost 6 figures by the age of 22. If I am able to save in 2025 and do I look like a finance bro? No, okay. Also, I'm not some like crazy day trader or like stock investor. Like, I hardly know anything. So if I'm able to do it, then anyone can. And also, it doesn't matter if you're 22, 32, 42. You know, it's easy for me to say, but I'm just trying to be inspiring, guys, okay? So just please take it and run. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I'll see you in the next Toronto vlog. Have a lovely rest of your day. Bye.